Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Hudson. It's Jason.
Good afternoon, Jason. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Sorry to get back to you so late. I've been very busy preparing the document that you recommended.
Good deal.
I worked closely with Queen Tut, and she was really helpful in putting the research together, and I'm just getting everything ready to go to Washington, D.C.
Well, she has done a remarkable, both of you have done a remarkable job on that. I don't mind telling you. I was just really impressed, and I know that the Crowdsource audience is going to be excited. This is going to be very impactful in Washington because it is definitely going to put these people on notice.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're looking forward to it. I am, and as all this is coming together, they're saying now that the IT staffer, i.e. Imran Awan and his brothers, they're the ones who planted the computer. They're the ones who notified the Capitol Police, and they weren't fleeing the country to escape justice. They fled the country to save their lives.
Interesting. I did see something from Luke Rosiak, but I wasn't sure. I hadn't heard all of that.
Alex Jones is reporting on it. Evidently, there's some other sources that are coming out and alluding to this strongly. We don't believe it. We believe this. We believe Imran Awan is dirty, and his brothers and the individuals affiliated with him, but they caught wind. They knew that they had been found out. Then, of course, they would realize that because of the Clinton body count that they were next. This is just our opinion, but so they decided, okay, instead of staying in the country, because they can't protect us if we go into custody. There have been cases where people have died in the custody of law enforcement and the FBI. So that's what we think. We still think that Imran Awan led a spy ring. We do believe that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was part of it. We think it still leads. We still believe it leads all the way to Hillary Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
But with that coming out, and the document that we have put together, and with the tremendous work that you and Queen Tut have done, this is all coming to a head at the same time.
Yeah.
I also had an opportunity to speak to George Webb earlier, and people probably know he's been looking to go before his own grand jury or to summons his own grand jury. Evidently, there's an obscure federal law that allows that, and I do believe that Mr. Webb is going to be going to possibly to New Jersey, into the district where Senator
Menendez.
Yeah, Menendez. And the judge that Menendez is going before is considered to be, when it comes to political corruption, he's considered to be a hanging judge. So our recommendation to Mr. Webb was to hit that jurisdiction and see if he couldn't get a grand jury there. Well, whether he does or not is up to him. In regards to the other things we've been working on, I think that you wanted to touch base on Whisenant a little bit.
Yeah, Joe's been doing amazing work there.
We like Joe Napoli, that's for sure, and Joe has done amazing work. You know, Jason, it's just amazing when you stop and think about it, the impact that Crowdsource is having. And I can't wait for it to, I'm just so anxious to see it continue to grow. But some of the things that we have noticed is that in regards to the autopsy.
Yes.
Some things that we noticed there is that when the autopsy was performed, it says in the report that the body was unclad.
Right.
But that's kind of surprising to us because that indicates that the body was naked. And so one of the red flags we see is, well, who removed the clothing and where is it? Another thing that we noticed is that in the report, I believe that the doctor says that there was nobody present when the autopsy took place. And we don't understand that one either because typically your homicide detectives, unless they'd already made up their mind that they were going to call it a suicide, they will do forensic gathering at the site, and then they will also continue the forensic gathering a lot of times with, through the coroner with the doctor performing the autopsy.
Right.
And so there's no indication of that either. A couple things that we did notice is that in the report it indicated that the blood alcohol level was 0.04. So it does show that he had, that he did have a drink or more.
Right.
The reason I say or more is because for every hour when a person drinks, if they consume 1.25 ounces of 80 proof alcohol, every hour will diminish that by 0.01.
Right.
And so 1.25 ounces of alcohol will give you a alcohol blood reading, again, depending on the weight of the person and all that, but typically that'll make you a 0.04 if you have one drink. But then for every hour thereafter, that begins to diminish, and then when a person is actually dead, the processing of that alcohol slows down dramatically, if not coming to a halt. We would venture to say that Mr. Whisenant had most likely had a couple, 2 or 3 drinks prior to his death would be our guess. But we did notice too that his lungs were not filled with water. Now that doesn't mean that he wasn't put in the water and that he washed up on shore.
If he was shot prior to going in the water, he certainly wouldn't be breathing.
Correct. And so if you're not breathing, the air is trapped in the lungs, and it pretty much, it stays there. If you're breathing, obviously, and you drown, then you're going to have water in your lungs.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that he wasn't shot offshore and then dumped in the water and then washed up on shore. However, one of the other things that we noticed is that it appears that when he did wash up on shore, or if he did, where he was located, it was the position that he was located in. And according to the police report, it says that he was face down and his arms down to his sides.
Yeah, I found that odd.
That leads you to believe that the individual was laying there straight. Like they laid down, turned over on their belly, laid their arms down to their sides.
Right.
Well, that's not indicative of an individual washing up on shore.
Or someone standing there committing suicide.
Or committing suicide, right. So to us, that indicates to us that the body was placed.
I agree.
Was placed there. A lot of people, because of movies, they think that people, when they're in the water and they die in the water or something, the body can float with the head facing up, and that's just not the case. It doesn't happen that way. The body is face down, arms dangling, legs dangling. The air trapped in the lungs, kind of pulls up in the chest area, the back area of the chest cavity, to give that body flotation. And then that body, if you think about it, with the arms dangling and the legs dangling, then if it's washed up on shore, you can imagine that when it does come up on shore, it's going to be a crumpled mass.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then because of wave action, believe it or not, that body typically can actually get almost covered up with sand. You've seen that. You walk into the water and how the sand comes up over your feet.
Sure.
Same way with a body when it comes up on shore like that. The wave, another wave comes in, water action, the sand gets disturbed and then flows over the body. And so typically, if you find a body naturally on the shore, it's typically got a lot of sand and stuff around it with the body sticking out of it.
Right.
So we find those things to be rather strange. And then on top of that, there's no gun. They're not able to find that. They looked supposedly for 3 days is what we heard. They didn't find the weapon. There is mention that there was a letter involved, and so I'm hoping that Mr. Napoli might be able to pursue this a little further and obtain the investigation itself rather than just a police report.
Oh, believe me, he's on it.
Good. But we see some things that don't make sense. Absolutely, for sure. We see some things that don't make sense.
Well, I'll be following up with Joe, and hopefully we'll have some information on it really soon.
Okay. This is a shout out to the Crowdsource audience. It's off subject. It's about the hurricanes. We actually have 3 of them now. One in the Gulf, one coming right up, ready to hit Florida. We have friends at NOAA and NASA, and I just got a report in that sustained wind at the eye is 176 miles per hour.
Wow.
And they just recorded a gust hitting 218. So, folks, I had mentioned before in regards to Texas, I said, you need to do some things to protect yourself. I wasn't wrong on that. I wasn't wrong. And now, if you live in Florida, get out. And I mean, right now, today, within the next hour, in my opinion, you need to get out of Florida.
Wow.
So, with that, I'll let you go, Jason. Really, a thank you for all that you do. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hudson. I'll speak to you soon.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Take care.